Hey, girl, we about to get right into it. Recap Manhwa Ultimate Devouring System Part 1. About to give it a go. We about to jump right into it. Let's get it.
Chap 1. In the middle of the night, a room in a tall building remained lighted. Inside, a man seated in a chair exclaimed in front of his computer while playing a game. Excited, he clicked his mouse rapidly as he could not believe he could find his opponents late at night. Inside the game, he was battling against an enemy. The man, Yi Xian, persisted in defeating his opponent to become the first player to reach max level until his eyes turned red, and the prize of $1 million would be his. Soon, he eventually defeated his enemy. Yi Xian laughed in contentment. On the screen, the word devour came out. Yi Xian excitedly clicked his mouse, devouring his items. A brilliant light illuminated. It was so bright Yi Xian's computer released a blinding light. Yi Xian's eyes widened as if he was blinded. Yi Xian cursed as he covered himself as the light illuminated and materialized in his room. Outside, a pillar of light shone from the sky. After which, Yi Xian's room turned silent once more. In another place, the full moon shone through a rainy night. In the family mansion of the Yi family, the downpour of rain continued. At this time, an apparition appeared out of thin air.
So, comment right now. Do you think, if you're watching this live with me, if you think, what to say? Oh yeah, did he get sucked into the game or what? Is it like, forget it.
Yi Xian now turned into a phantom, floated in midair as he studied his surroundings. He could not help but let out a curse, wondering if he was dead or alive. Suddenly, Yi Xian was pulled down. From midair, he fell into the forest nearby. Yi Xian was not hurt and noticed a foot sticking out of his chest. He was stunned as he saw the foot move. Yi Xian was shocked as it passed through his body. He looked up and saw the other party's appearance, which looked like assassins. This time, a man's displeased voice of complaint was heard. The assassins snorted in reply while Yi Xian, who stood behind them, wondered if the man was talking about him. Soon, however, Yi Xian was petrified. The man was a splitting image of himself. While the assassins continued posturing because their plan succeeded in luring out the man, Yi Xian was happy because he saw how handsome he and the man was. As the confrontation continued, Yi Xian realized both sides could not see him. The assassins unmasked themselves and expressed how the man, who shared the same name as Yi Xian, took the bait easily. Yi Xian recognized the assassin. He revealed Chen Song as someone who he had defeated and asked if he yearned for more penetrating fists. Chen
They're not asking him for more penetrating fists. Why penetrating fists, bro?
Song could not accept Yi Xian's words and reasoned he lost for being careless, so now he brought his elder brother, Chen Feng. Without delay, Chen Feng's aura erupted, declaring he would give Yi Xian a lesson he would not forget. Chen Feng showed his might, the ground rumbled and dust exploded everywhere as he charged at Yi Xian. In the blink of an eye, Chen Feng arrived on top of Yi Xian's head. However, Yi Xian was prepared. He received Chen Feng's attack with the Yi family's fourth-grade martial art, penetrating fists. On the side, gamer Yi Xian was amazed and claimed he would cultivate if he had a physical body. On the other hand, after Chen Song saw Yi Xian remain unharmed despite receiving elder brother Chen Feng's blow, his hatred rose once again. Chen Song could not accept Yi Xian could fight evenly with his elder brother despite being an entire stage lower. As the fight continued, Yi Xian eventually got the upper hand. Chen Song smiled sinisterly. He could not allow Yi Xian to realize his potential, robbing the Chen family's place in Lianyun City. Chen Song drew a knife behind his hand. He consoled himself and blamed Yi Xian for having immense talent. Gamer Yi Xian was alarmed upon witnessing Chen Song's actions. While his elder brother and Yi Xian were engaged in a heated fight, Chen Song silently sneaked behind with the intent to kill. Gamer fight. Chen Song silently sneaked behind with the intent to kill. Gamer Yi Xian warned at the top of his lungs. However, it was for naught. Yi Xian was pierced by Chen Song's knife. The knife struck his back and exited through his chest. Chen
Murdered! Murdered! So we kind of just witnessed our death, so I'm assuming our main character is going to continue this world as him? Question mark? We'll see.
Feng's eyes widened at Chen Song's sneak attack. However, the cruel smile on Chen Song's widened after he succeeded and proclaimed Yi Xian's death on his hands. Despicable! Yi Xian grunted as blood seeped out of his mouth. While Chen Song continued to mock the most talented in Lianyun City for dying in his hands, gamer Yi Xian was disappointed upon seeing someone get defeated by a low-rank common dagger. Yi Xian's heart stopped beating and Chen Feng eventually accepted the outcome. With a thud, Yi Xian fell to the ground. After confirming Yi Xian was dead as a doornail, the Chen brothers retreated. After the two Chen brothers left, gamer Yi Xian approached. Silently, he took his steps. Near the dead body, gamer Yi Xian thought Yi Xian would be like him, but in the end, he was disappointed. He wondered why everything had happened and if it was for the sake of appearing in front of Yi Xian. Seeing Yi Xian drown in his blood, gamer Yi Xian could not help but lecture. Why to fight someone head-on against someone who wanted to take one's life? If it were his game avatar, he would make them run around in circles. A hint of pity appeared on gamer Yi Xian's face, noticing Yi Xian's eyes wide open even after his death. He brought his hand out. He would help Yi Xian close his eyes. As he closed his eyes, he lectured Yi Xian to be smart in his next life. It was then that gamer Yi Xian experienced some change. His appearance turned golden and distorted. Soon, gamer Yi Xian's soul broke down completely. Later, the rain stopped.
And City, I think I'm right here. I think that he's about to live. Oh, I guess you got. I think it's obvious that was gonna happen, but I'm gonna say that I'm right anyway. That I think I'm right. He's gonna live the life as them. But since we just played this whole game, the whole devouring and everything, we about to be him. Timothy Turner. That's who we about to be.
Clear skies finally appeared in the Yi family mansion. Nearby, a call for a young master was heard. Soon, a blurry image of a girl appeared. The girl, Lu Er, had tears in her eyes as he saw her young master woke up, clearly worried. The young master sat up and comforted the girl, claiming he was fine. Gamer Yi Xian wondered why he knew the name of Yi Xian's maid. Keeping his calm, gamer Yi Xian asked Lu Er for a mirror. Soon, gamer Yi Xian saw himself. He realized he had reincarnated into Yi Xian, who had pitifully died. It was then he remembered how Chen Song referred to his body's owner as the #1 genius of Lianyun City. The title made him smile. Gamer Yi Xian would live a better life, exact revenge, and become the strongest in the world in Yi Xian's stead. Cultivation is great, gamer Yi Xian, now turn the genius Yi Xian, proclaimed as he tried to do what he had seen in TV shows. However, Yi Xian vomited blood and felt unbearable pain. He coughed.
It's not just vomit blood. Hold on. We gotta go back a little bit. Hold on.
Yi Xian, proclaimed as he tried to great and become the strongest in the world genius of Lianyun City. The title made him smile. Gamer Yi Xian would live a better life, exact revenge, and become the strongest in the world in Yi Xian's stead. Cultivation is great, gamer Yi Xian, now turn the genius Yi Xian, proclaimed as he tried to do what he had seen in TV shows. However, Yi Xian vomited blood and felt unbearable pain. He coughed hard and collapsed on the ground as he asked what was wrong. Lu Er gave him a cup of water and conveyed the news. Yi Xian's dantian had been shattered and his cultivation had been wiped out.
Freak no.
Chap 2 silence descended in the room. Yi Xian was dispirited after his dream of becoming the world's strongest was shattered before it had even begun. Lu Er consoled Yi Xian to calm him down, and revealed there was a way to recover his broken dantian. 100-year-old ginseng in the family treasury could recover Yi Xian's strength. Hearing this, life returned to Yi Xian's face. He grabbed Lu Er and asked her to bring him to the treasury right away. Later that day, the climate turned for the better. Yi Xian walked out of his room, which made the people around him gather in whispers. They were shocked to see their young master's pale face and frail appearance. They were aware of the sudden attack and knew Yi Xian had become a cripple. As they continued their whispers, Yi Xian proceeded to walk with Lu Er. He felt burdened with each step he took. Soon, Lu Er pointed at the treasury ahead. The building also caught Yi Xian's eyes. A person seated in front of a table with 2 guards on each side appeared.
So is that our treasury? Do we get to go in the treasury, maybe get some item to restore our cultivation? What's going on here? It's our treasury, right? I could have missed some stuff. Because I'm trying to read the bubbles as he's sliding and also listen to him, and it kind of throws me off a little bit. It is what it is. But what y'all think is going to happen here, man? What's the next, man?
Appeared before Yi Xian. The man continued to fan himself elegantly as he stared at Yi Xian in silence. As Yi Xian approached, the guards stopped him in his tracks. Lu Er called the seated man, the 3rd house steward, and erupted in anger after seeing them, proclaiming they were stopping the wrong person. The 3rd house steward acknowledged calmly. Yi Xian and lazily questioned. The 3rd house steward acknowledged calmly. He stared at Yi Xian and lazily questioned why he had come after asking for forgiveness for not recognizing him. Behind the crossed spears, Yi Xian answered he came for the 100-year-old ginseng. The 3rd house steward nodded and requested for Yi Xian to show the permission slip from the patriarch. On the side, Lu Er wondered why they were asking for the permission slip when the young master could retrieve any item he needed from the treasury before. The 3rd house steward slammed the table and retorted that Lu Er should know the answer. The 3rd house steward then pointed his fan and declared that Yi Xian had no right to retrieve resources from the treasury since he became a cripple. Hearing his words, Lu Er protested why they would hit the young master when he was down. The 3rd house steward remained unmoved and claimed he was polite, and if it was anyone else, he had made the guards chase him away. The 3rd house steward's words made Yi Xian speechless. However, the elder was not finished yet and revealed that Yi Xian would be sent away to manage the family's business. Eventually, Yi Xian was helpless. The prestigious young master had turned into a beggar in a single night. Yi Xian snorted in the end. He turned around, calling for Lu Er. While they walked away, Lu Er suggested that Yi Xian to ask the patriarch directly since the 3rd house steward's words could not be trusted. Upon hearing the little girl, the 3rd house steward scoffed, thinking Yi Xian still fancied himself as the number 1 genius. Soon, a servant appeared in front of Yi Xian. With a worried face, she informed Yi Xian that the patriarch was looking for him. On the side, Lu Er declared it was good timing and she would get to the bottom of Yi Xian's situation. After a moment of silence, Yi Xian asked the servant, Chui Er, why the patriarch had called him. Chui Er lowered her head and pondered for a while. After arranging her words, she answered that the Lin family had annulled the engagement. Lu Er was stunned upon hearing the news. However, Yi Xian was calm and thought it was his chance to turn the tide. As they walked, Lu Er grumbled about how despicable for the Lin family to take the initiative to suggest marriage and how they annul it after hearing Yi Xian's predicament. Later in the Yi family front hall, a group of people was gathered inside. Soon someone arrived. Yi Xian appeared before everyone and called for his first uncle. One of the men acknowledged Yi Xian's arrival. He informed Yi Xian of the engagement between the Lin and Yi family and their wish. However, before his first uncle could finish, he answered he knew they would annul the engagement. After all, he was a cripple with a broken dantian. A couple of men who had their backs on Yi Xian remained silent after hearing his words. A moment later, one of the men brought the cup of tea down to the table. The man claimed Yi Xian was mistaken, and it would not be reasonable for him to annul the engagement, as he was the one who arranged it. The man on the side also added that Miss Lin was taken as a disciple of the Tianyuan sect elders, and they had come to annul the engagement for Yi Xian's good. Yi Xian smiled and ridiculed how the Lin family resorted to making excuses to bully a cripple. On the side, the man sighed and expressed how the youngsters are ignorant these days. He further explained that Lin Shui'er had become the sect elder's disciple and the Yi family might be wiped out after the geniuses who wanted to pursue her learned about the engagement. Unconvinced, Yi Xian questioned how arrogant for them to not consider the laws of the Xianyang Empire. The man laughed heartily after hearing Yi Xian's words. After a while, he proclaimed Yi Xian was clueless as not just the geniuses of the Tianyuan sect but even he, as a mere protector, was not afraid of the Xianyuan Empire. Unimaginable power appeared in the man's hand and declared his sect could destroy the empire Yi Xian considered powerful beyond belief. The man's power destroyed the long table and his aura erupted all over the room. The oppressive atmosphere came suddenly. Even Yi Xian was caught unprepared. The man showed his might, he only needed to wave his finger, and the empire would be destroyed. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and was deep in thought. The people around turned silent and could only close their eyes. Yi Xian did not expect the man's words. His first uncle also remained silent this time. Yi Xian could not believe everyone had broken out in cold sweats only after hearing the man's bragging. Soon, the man asked Yi Xian for his decision. On the side, the man from the Lin family assured him they would return the dowry as long as Yi Xian annulled the engagement. Hearing this, a brilliant thought suddenly surfaced in Yi Xian's mind. He was glad there was still the dowry. Yi Xian's father had left him a dowry worth millions. If he managed to get thrice of the dowry's value, he could purchase medicine to repair his dantian. Thinking of this, Yi Xian expressed he did not mind annulling the engagement. Nevertheless, he hoped thrice of the dowry's value would be returned as an apology. His first uncle stood from his seat and prevented Yi Xian's request. Yi Xian smiled and assured him not to worry. In the end, his first uncle turned speechless. Soon, Yi Xian reasoned he would be a laughingstock if he easily agreed to annul the engagement. Furthermore, Yi Xian claimed the Lin family and the Tianyuan sect as righteous and strong factions, and it would not be good if words spread that they were breaking promises and striking those who were down. Uncle Lin's face darkened. Unconcerned, Yi Xian once again expressed how the Lin family's name would be tarnished once word went out that they were bullying the weak. After saying all this, Yi Xian looked at Uncle Lin with cunning eyes. He proposed that he would announce that he annulled the engagement of his own accord in exchange for thrice the dowry's value that would be returned. Uncle Lin was speechless, and his face darkened even more. The Tianyuan sect's protector roared in laughter after hearing Yi Xian's condition. He knew they were blackmailed but agreed in the end. Uncle Lin fell into a panic after hearing Elder Yu's words as 300 million were so much. Elder Yu ensured it was fine as something materialized in his palm. Soon, a small bottle appeared. It contained 2 spirit-gathering pills worth 150 million each. Elder Yu tossed the bottle toward Yi Xian. However, Yi Xian was frustrated. If he knew the man would agree readily, he would have asked 5 times for the dowry's value. After suffering a loss, Yi Xian asked Lu Er for the engagement contract. After agreeing to his young master's request, Lu Er brought out the contract with a sad face. In a flash, the contract was burned away. While she was still in shock, Elder Yu and Uncle Lin passed by Lu Er as they turned to leave. Yi Xian looked at their backs when he thought of something. He hurriedly stopped Elder Yu. Yi Xian asked for the elder's name. Elder Yu paused in his tracks and asked if Yi Xian wanted revenge. However, Yi Xian had different thoughts. In the future, he only wanted to profit from the foolish elder who wasted money so readily. Yi Xian calmly denied the elder's claim and explained he only wanted to seek pointers if they were to meet again. Elder Yu laughed softly after hearing Yi Xian's words. He demanded Yi Xian to remember his name carefully as he declared his name, Eugene, the protector of the Tianyuan sect. Walking away, he revealed his interest in Yi Xian and lamented how he could not take him as a disciple because of his shattered dantian. As his eyes looked on Elder Yu's back, Yi Xian muttered his name. Suddenly, the bottle in Yi Xian's hands glowed in gold. Yi Xian was surprised upon seeing the unexpected change. While he was in a daze, a screen appeared before his eyes, the ultimate devouring system. The display changed and a notification appeared. A spirit-gathering pill was detected. Do you wish to devour it? Chap 3. Yi Xian was in disbelief as
All right, we did the first two chapters. What do we think about it so far? It's moving. The story is starting to move now. Again, we only got two chapters. So, chapter three, about to figure out what this devouring system is. I'm liking it so far. I'm interested to see where it goes. He got stabbed, cultivations jagged, wedding engagement cut off, blah, 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 blah. So, he feeling it right now. They keep stepping on him while he down, man. Kicking him while he down. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is what it is because he's Timothy Turner. So, let's get back to it.
As he continued to stare at the display. Chap 3 Yi Xian was in disbelief as he continued to stare at the display. It was then that a smile appeared on his face as he thought of the cheat had finally been activated. Yi Xian was satisfied, claiming the heavens did leave a way out for him. The voice of his first uncle calling Yi Xian was heard. His first uncle's voice brought Yi Xian back to reality. While his first uncle wondered why he was spacing out, Yi Xian did not answer and instead asked if there were orders for him. His first uncle thought for a moment, and explained that they had used various treasures worth millions to save Yi Xian but to no avail. In the end, his first uncle asked him to hand over the spirit-gathering pills since Yi Xian was not destined for martial arts. Yi Xian lowered his head and declined as he reasoned that he had a purpose for the pills. On the side, another elder asked Yi Xian if he was planning to return to martial arts with the pill and declared it would not be feasible. The other elders claimed his naivety and discouraged Yi Xian as the medicine for the broken Dantian far exceeded their capability, and he would get attacked if he held into the pills. Yi Xian mockingly laughed at how everyone was so kind when nobody spoke out after Eugene showed his might, but now they were coveting the pills. Frustration appeared on the elders' faces for being insulted. Such impudence! The elder denied Yi Xian's words and reasoned that the pills could only bring disaster, and it was better to offer them to the family. The remaining elders voiced their stance, looking for the patriarch's response. Yi Xian remained silent. Eventually, his first uncle expressed a tired sigh. He supported the elders and convinced Yi Xian to give up the pills. Yi Xian turned silent for a moment. He said he believed in his uncle's promise of carefree life, and he was aware of their plans of sending him far away. Everyone listened to Yi Xian with various expressions on their faces. Yi Xian then refused the arrangement. He could not resign himself to a normal life. He would leave the family and build his clan the very next day. While the elders were shocked, they heard Yi Xian renouncing his ties with the Yi family. The elders could not hold themselves any longer, and hurled curses toward Yi Xian's face. They demanded a punishment against the preposterous ingrate. The patriarch fell silent. After a while, he asked Yi Xian if he was determined, making the faces of the elders dumbfounded. Yi Xian confirmed his resolve and would go through his decision.
That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to pause it because I just wanted to know what's happening. I didn't expect him to lead a family. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't expect him to be like, all right, F y'all then, I'm gone. Talk your stuff, Timothy. I knew he was Timothy, but I didn't know he was like, Dad, okay.
Surprisingly, his first confirmed his resolve and would go through his decision. Surprisingly, his first uncle supported his choice and asked him to take care. While the elders protested, Yi Xian was left without words. As the room descended in disorder, the patriarch demanded silence. He warned everyone not to harass Yi Xian, otherwise he would not be merciful. Then, the patriarch told Yi Xian to bring his servant, Lu Er, as she was loyal to him. While Lu Er was happy for accompanying her young master, Yi Xian was thankful for how reasonable his uncle was. As they walked away, the elders could not help but helplessly clench their teeth in anger. Later, in a corner of the Yi family mansion, Yi Xian and Lu Er were prepared to go. Lu Er asked Yi Xian where they would go. Yi Xian looked toward the distance and answered they would rent a room at the Drunken Immortal Inn. As they walked on the street towards the inn, Lu Er suggested going for a cheaper inn as their money was only enough for half a month in the Drunken Immortal Inn. However, Yi Xian denied her suggestion and assured them that less than a month was enough to restore his cultivation, and by then, money is not a problem. Lu Er was shocked after hearing his words, and after Yi Xian confirmed it was not difficult as long as he had the pills, she was finally relieved. Later, in the Drunken Immortal Inn, Lu Er told Yi Xian she would leave to get some food. Yi Xian turned to look and confirmed the door was closed. His eyes shifted and his gaze fell on the small bottle in his hands. Soon, a mysterious energy appeared and gathered around Yi Xian. He pleaded for the cheat to not let him down as he brought a pill closer. Without hesitation, Yi Xian put the pill in his mouth and devoured it. The energy was activated in Yi Xian's body as a vortex appeared in his chest. Soon, subtle currents of spiritual energy were sucked into his body. On the display, Yi Xian saw the progress and assumed it was the representation of his dantian being repaired. A moment later, the display was 95% complete. Yi Xian brought out another pill and devoured it. As the spirit energy gathered toward Yi Xian, a notification sounded. The required energy to activate the system is full. The required energy to activate the system toward Yi Xian. A notification sounded. The required energy to activate the system is full. The progress bar was full and the system had been activated. Yi Xian's dantian was shattered and instead of repairing it, the system started to devour it. Yi Xian was alarmed. However, he could not stop the system as it continued to devour his dantian. Soon, Yi Xian felt an unbearable pain as if all his internal organs were being rearranged. Yi Xian fell from his chair and collapsed on the floor as he held his stomach in misery.
I figured it wasn't going to repair his cultivation. I feel like it's going to be something else. And I'm glad they are doing something else because, I lost my cultivation, but guess what? I got a new power. A better one. And that's kind of the vibes I'm getting here, right?
He continued to scream as the pain continued. The door opened and Lu Er appeared, seeing her young master suffering. She was helpless and could only watch Yi Xian in distress. Soon, his dantian was completely devoured and the devouring system has been fully activated. Yi Xian upright himself as he held his stomach with a wretched face. Then, he noticed something. Yi Xian realized his dantian had changed. The ultimate devouring system. It could devour everything and turn it into spiritual energy for the user to absorb. Chapter 4. Later that day, Lu Er was beaming with joy as she confirmed her young master's recovery. Yi Xian was now filled to the brim with energy. To celebrate the blessing, Lu Er decided for the waiter to serve food and drinks to celebrate. Lu Er hurriedly left the room. Left alone, Yi Xian was smiling. He glanced at his hands as he thought of his devouring system. Soon, a magical aura surged in his body. He was in a magical place where the ultimate devouring system appeared before him. To have a system devoured everything and transform it into spiritual energy for him to absorb, Yi Xian realized it was easier than cultivating. The display changed and showed martial arts, bloodlines, and divine weapons. Yi Xian decided to check martial arts first. Then the display introduced martial arts. The 5 schools were the Gale Sword Technique, the Tiger's Roaring Fists, the Descent of the Wild Goose, the Indestructible Finger, and the Palm of Black Sand. Yi Xian was amazed. He immediately chose the Tiger's Roaring Fists to try out. However, an error occurred. He could not learn martial arts because of insufficient devouring points. With a hint of disappointment, Yi Xian asked how to get points. The system answered he could get the points by devouring precious items. Yi Xian hurriedly looked around. In the corner, he saw an exquisite vase. He believed the vase was precious enough. Yi Xian started to devour the item. However, an error occurred. Yi Xian's stance was inaccurate, and he could not devour the vase. Sweat trickled Yi Xian's face as he thought about swallowing the vase. He could not help but hesitate. Eventually, Yi Xian brought the vase to his mouth since he was alone, and could make a fool of himself. Soon, a change occurred. The vase floated in the air and started to shrink. Then, the small vase was reduced to the point that it could fit his mouth. After the vase was swallowed, the system notified him. The item was a piece of junk and no points were obtained. Angered, Yi Xian scolded the system as a scam.
That's wild. It's just gonna shrink like that.
Points were obtained. Angered, Yi Xian scolded the system as a scam. However, The system only reminded Yi Xian to devour precious items to obtain points once again. This time, Yi Xian assumed the precious items must be natural materials or cultivation resources of high value. He thought of the Lianyun Mountains and decided to venture it in the future. As he thought about how stupid swallowing looked like, the system proposed he could buy the devouring hand, and the items he touched with both hands could be devoured instantly. While he was in a daze, Yi Xian heard a commotion. He approached the window and took a peek outside. Down below, Lu Er was getting harassed by another young master servant.
I was waiting for it. I was saying, at some point his little friend gonna get picked on, and then we gotta say today, or we gotta pick a fight.
Yi Xian was angered upon seeing this. The servant continued to insult Lu Er. She wanted to tear Lu Er's face to pieces for seducing men left and right. However, a kick landed on her face. Yi Xian appeared and sent the servant flying. Lu Er was glad to see her young master. Yi Xian comforted Lu Er, declaring he would settle everything on her behalf. With tears in her eyes, Lu Er agreed with her young master. This time, the man who was silent all this time let out a disdainful sound. He did not expect Yi Xian, the greatest genius of Lianyun City, to be alive. Yi Xian immediately recognized the man. It was the man who assassinated the genius Yi Xian. Chen Song said it was a pity for the Yi family to sacrifice a fortune of resources for a cripple. Yi Xian calmly replied Chen Song deserved to die 10,000 deaths for plotting to kill him and bullying Lu Er. Chen Song roared in laughter, as though he heard the greatest joke. He questioned Yi Xian about how could he be killed by a cripple when he had beaten him in the duel. Yi Xian asked how could it be called a duel when they lured him into the middle of the night and launched a sneak attack on him. Anger arose on Yi Xian's face as he declared Chen Song would pay for what he did. Chen Song happily accepted, believing Yi Xian had finally gotten sick of living. His aura erupted and charged toward Yi Xian without hesitation. Thundering fists. Chen Song soared in the sky. He would grant Yi Xian's death wish. On the other hand, Yi Xian remained unmoved. He blocked Chen Song's fist effortlessly with one hand. Chen Song was shocked. His fist could not move further. Yi Xian commented the thundering fists was nothing impressive. He tightened his grip on Chen Song's fist. With a crack, Chen Song's arm was easily twisted. Chen Song's eyes turned red. He could not believe Yi Xian could use penetrating fist after his cultivation had been crippled. As Chen Song's scream reverberated in the room, his arm was twisted again. Yi Xian let go of Chen Song's hand, which was crooked beyond recognizable.
Fuck no.
Looking down on Chen Song, Yi Xian was full of gratitude for the brothers as he was reborn because of them. As he crawled on the ground, Chen Song cursed the Yi family for spreading false news about Yi Xian's situation. Seeing Chen Song's wretched face, Yi Xian was prepared to make a move. Chen Song broke into a sweat and laughed drily, daring Yi Xian to kill him. His death would spark a war between the two families, and the weakest Yi family of the four great families would be buried with Chen Song. Hearing his words, Yi Xian was met with hesitation. Seeing him silent, Chen Song further stated that the Wu family who reigned the city would not sit by in case a war between families broke out. Yi Xian fell into deep thought as he realized the war would not do him or the Yi family any favors, and he needed to let Chen Song be alive a little longer, while he gets stronger with the help of the devouring system. On the ground, Chen Song eventually saw his chance. Without delay, he charged toward Yi Xian with his dagger. Yi Xian made a move as soon as the dagger was near. With a kick, Yi Xian sent the dagger flying from Chen Song's hands. His servant squeaked as she saw the dagger fall on her side. She could not believe her young master was defeated. Chen Song was filled with fear when he looked at the broken fingers in his hand. Cruelness appeared on Yi Xian's face. He could not kill Chen Song, but he could cripple him. Without hesitation, Yi Xian raised his foot. His kick landed on Chen Song's face, sending him flying a few meters away. With a plop, Chen Song fell to the ground. Yixian did not delay and charged forward. Sensing Yixian's arrival, Qinsong screamed in despair. Yixian kicked again and sent him flying into the air. Yixian smiled in containment, but it was not enough. He moved to Qinsong's side and struck again. Qinsong slid onto the ground and remained motionless. This time, Yixian's anger subsided a little and a smile of satisfaction appeared on his face. He approached Qinsong and gave him another harmless kick. As he walked away, Yixian reminded Qinsong not to use the same sneak attack twice. On the side where the onlookers gathered, Yixian approached Lu Er to ask about her situation. Unknown to them, a servant of the Yi family saw the fight and decided to report it to the patriarch as soon as possible. Young Master Yixian had recovered his cultivation.
Bro, I'm into it. Hey, shout out to this channel. I like how they do scroll through the stuff so you can read some of the bubbles if you want. I like this channel. Shout out to them. Link in the description to the original video will be in the description below. But let me know what you guys think is gonna happen next. I don't think there's a part 2 yet. When there is one, we definitely will react to it because I'm into this. But yeah, man, I'll catch y'all in the next video.